triggering change, one heartbeat at a time. Battle for freedom. Hello everyone, this is Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 50 Radio. I'm glad that you're joining me and you're going to be part of this program today. Listen, we have a lot that we're going to talk about today. More than anything else, I want to talk to you about the Constitution of Character, from SCOTUS picks and sticks, and so much more. But if I want to do this the right way, I need to actually start this off with some American Pride Roasters coffee. Take a listen in and understand that this is the most critical way for you to start your day off the correct way with American Pride Roasters coffee. Take a listen in. My favorite blend, that's Watson's White Chocolate blend. That's it. I've hit the snooze button a dozen times, and now I have to finally get going. But I'm not going to do this day right if I don't start it off with a cup of American Pride Roasters coffee, the official coffee of Mojo 50 Radio. But I'm not going to lie to you. They have a wide variety of blends, but I'm leaning towards the one that's named after me, Watson's White Chocolate Caramel. You know what? It sounds as good as those words that just rolled off of my mouth. Listen, get it today. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Tell them that Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you, and you want Watson's White Chocolate Caramel blend to start your day off. Join American Pride Roasters Coffee and Mojo 50 Radio, and most important, Battle for Freedom, as we celebrate the best coffee in the nation. American Pride Roasters. Does your mind seem like it often shuts down before it even starts? Sounds like you need to detox to improve your health in body, mind, and spirit. I'd like to tell you about New Life Holistic. It is an amazing therapy process that uses neurofeedback and biofeedback for many issues that ails everyone. New Life's method and approach to health, balance, energy, and vitality is what sets it apart from anything you have experienced ever before. Call 1-833-4-BIO-LIFE and tell them Watson from Battle for Freedom has sent you. One more thing. Give them the code MOJO50 and save $50 off of your first session. The consult is free. New Life Holistic. Yes, New Life Holistic. Gone through a couple of the sponsors I want you to consider for this day. If you just started earlier in the morning, you just finished listening to Rocky Stucci in the Situation Room. If it's in the afternoon, you just finished listening to Right Now with Jim Dawes. But either way, I want you to continue to not only go to my website, which is battle4freedom.com. I also want you to go to mojo50.com, which is actually mojo50.com. But Mojo50 just has a better sound, ring, and rhyme to it. But go to mojo50.com and basically sign up. You don't get spammed. You can watch this. This is airing right now on Facebook via video. It's airing via iHeartRadio sound-wise, but YouTube as well as Mojo 50 TV. Check this out and share this with as many people as you possibly can. And if you want to interact, go to facebook.com/Mojo50 Radio. Leave a comment, and I'll do the best to get the information out to you. So as we sit here and we go through this whole process so you're aware. The crazy thing that's going on with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. RBG is gone, and now it seems like it's all out civil war. Now, before we get into that, there's a couple things I want to talk about, because the Constitution of Character is something else, and we need to really reflect on, every last one of us, myself included, of the challenges that we're presented when we go throughout each day, each night, each morning. There's just certain things that we have to stand up for, and we're not always consistent with it. I'll be sharing some things with this, but here's one I thought. There aren't going to be graphics on this one, but a doctor in Kentucky who repeatedly urged residents to wear face masks and follow CDC health guidelines dies of COVID-19. Dr. Rebecca Shadowin, 62, is being hailed a frontline hero for the work she did during the COVID-19 pandemic on September 11th after falling ill in May. Shadow, she often advocated for residents to wear face masks, social distance, and follow recommended CDC guidelines. Both state and health officials have shared tributes to Shadowin. Now, here's my thing, though, is if you said everyone to continually wear masks, and you've pushed for people to wear masks like there's no tomorrow, obviously the masks aren't doing everything that they need to do. Oh, Watson, I mean, no, come on, folks here. This is ridiculous at this particular point. You even have a presidential candidate who's going to make an executive order that people have to wear masks, period. Now, a lot of you who keep talking about the idea that Donald Trump wants to be this tyrant who wants to basically take away people's rights and tell them what to do, literally Joe Biden is doing this right now. He is telling you exactly what he will do. He's telling you he will violate the law. He's telling you he will tell you what to do, and you have no choice but to follow exactly what he says. He's telling you he's going to raise taxes. He's telling you the tyrannical things he's going to do. Donald Trump trying to stop cities from burning, trying to stop cities from being looted, trying to stop American citizens from being robbed and raped. He's a tyrant for doing that. He's a tyrant for caring. He's a tyrant for trying to stop the looting and the destruction of homes and businesses, Walmarts and Targets that will never go back to communities. Very interesting. And it's very sad to see the way that we have allowed to make these dumb decisions to not be consistent in our worldview. And I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken by what this has happened. Here it is. Wear a mask. Mask didn't save. Mask did not save. Before we get into this, here's another story I found. 6-year-old boy calls 911 after armed robbers shot. Now this one's close. And this one's really, really cold. I've had to be quiet for a few days on this one because this is close. 6-year-old boy calls 911 after armed robbers shot his mother dead and critically injured his father while they were changing a tire on the side of the road. Wilma and Jonathan Hostetler were attacked on Thursday night. The pair were repairing a tire on their truck when 2 armed robbers attacked. They were robbed of a phone and their wallets before the men opened fire. Wilma died instantly and Jonathan was hit in the neck. Their 6-year-old son, Braden, helped find Jonathan's phone and call 911. Police are still hunting for the gunman. The father pleaded. Now, see, this is the reason why this is close, because this happened 25 minutes from where I live. This wasn't far from where I live here in Indiana. And so it goes to show you that this is so annoying and this is so disturbing to see the way that there is no respect for life. Now, I want to say something to a lot of you who don't want to have guns. You don't have guns, that's perfectly fine. That is your choice. That is your right. Enjoy that freedom. But why are you so determined to make everybody else defenseless? Why are you so determined to make sure that no one else can have a gun? Because obviously these criminals have guns. And remember, let me help you understand something. Criminal, by definition, means someone who doesn't want to abide by the law. So it doesn't matter how many laws you create. It doesn't stop gun violence. It doesn't stop criminals from getting their hands on guns to shoot and kill people. Just like, remember, we had laws against alcohol. We had remember the prohibition laws, but they were making moonshine. They were making alcohol. People still kept making it. We had a war on drugs. We've had a war on drugs for 30, 40 years now? And people are still selling drugs. So what makes you think that there's going to be some kind of success in having a war on guns and taking guns away, and that people will actually stop having guns on the street? I'm trying to help me understand how in any way you think even registering guns is going. See, you don't seem to recognize is the tyranny that you say that you don't want is the tyranny that you're actually proposing and desiring. By disarming American citizens, you are basically saying, put the government in charge and let them be the ones to defend us against the criminals. How are they doing now? How are they doing now? This looks like it could have been an Amish family. This looks like this could have been an Amish family, and it's really sad because of the fact that I'm heartbroken. This was way too close. Sarah Nichols, you're correct. Joe Biden is the real tyrant. Good morning, Brian, Linda, Lep. This is so disturbing, and it's not even Curtis. Thank you for being part of this, and also Jen. This is so disturbing because of the fact that, again, here's another family who dies. How many more American citizens have to die in order for many of you who want to be peace loving? If that's what you want to do, then so be it. Go find yourself a commune, sit crisscross applesauce, tie your fingers together, and basically go off and meditate on the numbers of hairs in your belly button, where you assume that there will be no war, there will be no anger, there will be no gun, there will be no crime, there will be no evil. You go there, and the rest of us will deal with reality. The rest of us will deal with reality and the fact that all of us are broken, fallen, sinful individuals. Jesus Christ is returning. He's returning, and you know what? We're about to be judged. Every last one of us, myself included, every last one of us who do not want to bow the knee, every last one of us who wants to live in rebellion, every last one of us. Lord, please help us. But this is so disturbing. As I see this, I saw this story, I'm like, wow, this hits really close. What if that was my wife? What if that was me and my family sitting? What if that was me and my family sitting on the side of the road trying to change a tire, and some bums decided they wanted to come up and they wanted to shoot and kill? The guy begged for his wife not to be killed. He begged for his wife not to be killed, and they shot and killed her anyway. But many of you keep thinking, well, there's no criminal should die like this. There's no reason for the moment that you decide that you're going to commit a crime, okay? The moment that you decide to commit a crime, you have asked for the consequences of your decision. You have ventured down a path that actually will yield horrific results. But no one wants to consider that. No one wants to have the discussion about that. No one wants to talk about why the police shows up at these instances where people die at the hands of police. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about the fact that a crime was being committed. Here's another family that's going to lose children, who are going to lose their mother, potentially lose their father, because some bums decided that they wanted to shoot and kill. Lord, help us. Lord, help us. We're in a lot of trouble, and this is only going to get worse. So let's get into this whole thing of RBG, because I think this is pretty much going to be most of the whole program, hearing what people have to say on this, and the discussions that's going to take place as a result of this. So, with a warning, I love this warning. This is from people in America not happy with the decision of what's taking place. If he holds a vote in 2020, we pack the court in 2021. Democrats threaten radical move to pack Supreme Court with extra justices if Trump's nomination goes through and they take the White House and the Senate. Since 1869, 9 justices have served on the nation's highest court. If he, and so the Democrats are like, well, if he holds a vote, we're going to turn around and we're going to make sure that we stack the court, and there's no room for him to do whatever he wants, because we're tired and we're not happy with this. Now, mind you, remember, Democrats who had the power, who had the control in 2009, decided that they wanted to pass Obamacare. Stacking, they had the chance. And remember, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was basically nominated, was put on the bench in 42 days. In 42 days. I believe it was an election year too, right? But to sit here and constantly change. Now, mind you, I want to go through a bunch of people who are changing their standards, and this is, I'm not going to lie to you folks, this is where this is going to be critical, and this is going to be critical more than anything else, is our consistency in character. We have to be consistent in character, no matter how desperate times get. Oh, I know, trust me, it's so easy to give up. It's so easy to turn around and basically say, I've got no more energy. I've got no more fight in me. I'm tired. I'm tired, Watson. I'm tired. Trust me, I understand what you mean. I know how you feel. I know what's going through your mind. You're just tired of fighting and you just want to turn carnal. You're tired of being patient and you just want to go full on patriot like Mel Gibson and start killing people indiscriminately. But here's the problem about it is we still have to stand before God, like Sarah Nichols says. We will all be judged by God. And I just want to make sure that this is going to be a bloody war. This is not going to be clean. This is there. I can't tell you how we navigate fully this thing. I'm just saying honor God in everything that we're doing. But as they sit here and they're unhappy, mind you, because understand this, if the roles were reversed, that they wouldn't hold back. We already saw it. We already saw it because one, let's go back to 2009 Obamacare. Two, let's go back to all the impeachment hearings. Let's go back to the Russian collusion investigations. And now, even now, to slow down his right and his ability, which if that's what the games that they want to play, now the Democrats want to start an impeachment process. If he begins this, folks, are you aware of this? See, here's the thing about it. In 2016, when the Republicans requested that they weren't going to try and put a seat on, and they were saying, well, let the elected president, choose this. And I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, well, was there threats? Were there threats of destroying the country? Were there threats of burning down the country if Barack Obama should start the process? No, there wasn't. See, when you sit here and you watch and you hear the threat levels that are taking place by Democrats, you're literally hearing everything that they had projected on Donald Trump. So, as you hear this, now you see the real threats that have been happening in America. If this is 4D chess, if this is the 4D chess that they've been talking about that Donald Trump has been playing for the longest time, it is brilliant because you have allowed them to show who they are in character or lack thereof. And you know what? It's going to come out and it's going to blow up in their face. I'm watching this. I'm just really disturbed because of the fact that a lot of you don't seem to understand. A lot of you don't seem to understand, nor do you care. We are at a crisis point where there's there have been violent threats. There have been death threats made against the President of the United States of America. You know what? I'm about to get worked up, and sometimes it's good for me just to remain calm because the moment I blow up and go insane, it's not going to be a good thing, and it's not going to be a good thing at all. But it really saddens me because of the fact that those of you who've turned a blind eye, to what the left is doing, to the Democrats, to the progressives, to Antifa, to Black Lives Matter, here is everything that you were worried about with Donald Trump. Remember, I didn't vote for him. I did not vote for him. But I was really disturbed by the level of fear that was put in the minds of people because of the fact that they thought that Donald Trump was going to attack them, that Donald Trump was going to put them in jail, that Donald Trump was going to kill them, that Donald Trump was going to take away their rights. Who is it right now that's trying to take away, violently threat to take away rights? Hollywood, the left, progressives are out there, and they're not afraid to show you that they're willing to burn stuff down. Y'all keep saying that Donald Trump is this tyrant. It's tyranny that threatens people. It's tyranny that threatens destruction. It's tyranny that has this mob boss mentality. But y'all keep calling Donald Trump the mob boss. Look at the tactics. I'm asking you, Christians, white, black, I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. Put aside your ideology and just use common sense. Use and don't make excuses anymore. Because if you call yourself people of character, well, your character wavers just so you can get what you want, and that means all of us. Every last one of us, if we choose to change our character because winning matters most, it says it's not the battle that speaks loud. It's who we are as individuals when we can't be consistent. See, right now, it doesn't matter who we put in. Understand this. It doesn't matter who we put in the White House. It doesn't even matter who we put in the Supreme Court. It's who we are. It's who we are. And I know we fail when no one's looking. I know. And you know what? It's a challenge to rise above the worst level that we've ever seen in our lives, the most ashamed level that we've seen in our lives. But we can't expect the government to change. We can't expect America to change if the grassroots of America is rotten to the core or inconsistent to the core. But yeah, the Democrats want to threaten that they're going to turn around and stack the House, and they're going to beat everything that's been going on for 1869. So we're talking about 241 years. For 241 years, we're going to turn around and we're going to change what's been going on. 9 justices have served on the nation's highest court since 1869. But Democrats are going to lose. So that they decide that they want to do everything that they can to make certain that we send a message to Donald Trump: don't you dare do anything without our permission. But when Barack Obama was president, he could do whatever he wants. Y'all wanted to impeach the president in an election year. Remember, that vote was just back in January, February. Okay, that was an election year, and you chose to impeach the president of the United States of America. Hello? So why do the standards constantly change? Why do you see? And this is where the whole issue of the Constitution of character is so key. You can't turn around and, well, no, you can. You can do whatever you want to do, but there are going to be consequences for your actions. Every last one of us. Again, I don't sit here and think that I'm taking this high and mighty seat. I understand that there are things that I've done that maybe that none of you know about. There are things that I have done. There are poor decisions that I have made that none of you do not know about. And some of those things have happened in my heart. Some of those things have happened in my mind. Some of those different things you will never know about, but I do. And God may have even let other people know some of those things that I've done, that I am truly ashamed of what I've done in that area. But to sit here, what the Democrats are doing, you don't want thug politics, but thug politics is taking place right before your eyes. And there's no way of getting around it. So, a couple of the front runners, again, sorry, no pictures for those of you who like how I use animations and graphics and whatever. Sorry, just making some last-second changes here. Trump Supreme Court frontrunners: a mother of 7 who adopted two children from Haiti and belongs to a Christian sect that inspired the Handmaid's Tale. Now, this is from Daily Mail. I love this. And a Cuban-American whose father was stopped from becoming a lawyer by Castro. Amy Coney Barrett, 48, and Barbara Lagoa, 52, are the front runners for Trump's Supreme Court nomination. Now, I love how this thing, think about this, the Handmaid's Tale. Understand this, by Daily Mail using this topic and that phrase and many others, what they're trying to do is talk about the whole idea as women. You love the Handmaid's Tale, right? You love how women, you hate how women have been subjugated and basically pushed down and oppressed because of this masculine society, patriarchal society. Don't elect a woman. Don't vote. Tell your senators to reject this backwards thinking caveman mentality following Christian who's going to sit here and be obedient. Don't pay attention to the idea of her choosing to adopt 2 black children from Haiti, from my parents, from the country where my parents are from my roots. Ignore that. Oh, ignore the fact that because mind you, many people, they love some Castro. They love Cuba. They want to be like Jay-Z and Beyonce and go to Cuba, to a country known for human rights violations. Why is it that the left celebrates all these countries? How dare Nancy Pelosi sit there and complain about China, but can be completely quiet about Cuba? But this is how they look how the news is already disparaging these candidates. So seek it into your minds. These are not the judges you're looking for. Listen, I'm your host, Watson Prunier for Battle for Freedom. Let's go to a break, and I'll talk to you on the flip side. This election will be vital to the health and sustainability of our country. Our role from this day on could steer the election in either direction. Why? The way we treat one another. In John 13:35, Jesus says, "By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." We know that every election cycle brings out the worst in us. If there was ever a point for honesty, it is in how we act during election season. As much as we would want our candidate to win, attacking a person with contrary opinions only makes them determined to reject our point of view all the more. It may come off as ignorant from them, but we cannot claim innocence if we allow arrogance and disrespect to be the means in which we communicate with those who support the other party or other candidates. Our goal was and will never be to convert voters. Our role is to give them the information needed prior to them casting their vote. It is their choice and right of what they do with that information. Understand, more people are aware of the political corruption and hypocrisy than they wish or want to admit. So there's nothing for us to prove. Choose to be people who invoke change rather than people who irritate and strain. Dale Carnegie once wrote, "A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still." In other words, give people the room to make their own mistakes. Without seeing that they were wrong, they would be blind to see what is right. Remember, every soldier present and gone have fought for the right of every American citizen to vote their own conscience. To insult and ridicule people for exercising their liberty to vote for their candidate is to also desecrate the efforts, memories, and sacrifices made by our heroes for said liberty. Please, show respect. Our nation depends on it. Welcome back, everyone. This is Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 50 Radio. So glad that you are here and you're a part of this program. I'd listen. If this program is us sitting here talking to you about the whole idea of the constitution of character, if this isn't waking you up, this is, because we had a comment on the timeline. Some people who've chosen to go to facebook.com/Mojo 50 Radio. And who was it? Carolyn Crouch basically says, "Wake up, America." And this is one that I even seen from Jen Leah Butler. See, I didn't call you Butter this time. I said Butler. I love this. She basically said, "Imagine if we had done this after Justice Scalia passed away. Dems aren't even mourning her. They went straight to this hateful vitriol." That is so true. And it's really sad. We should be energized. We should be angry. We should be frustrated. And then things are getting worse too. You have to understand how bad this is getting, and we need to be serious. We need to take this all serious because it's not going to get any better. Now, we want to talk about being energized. I want you to consider the whole idea of Patriot Energy, one of our sponsors. Are your energy bills getting out of hand and you want more control of your expenses? Consider Patriot Energy, a local veteran-owned solar company. You need honesty, integrity, and clarity. These markers are essential in the ever-growing solar industry. Call 602-721-6717 for a free quote. Tell them that Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you, and he's from Mojo 50 Radio. And that number again, 602-721-6717. Call Patriot Energy today. Call Patriot Energy today. And, because these quotes keep coming in, and there's so much more that I want to share on this. Here's another one from Jennifer, and I'm going to add some other quotes from everybody else because of the fact that I appreciate what they're sharing. You can interact and know there was no check issued to me for this. If you want to issue a check to help me, I'd say do send a check to Mojo 50 Radio. Go to mojo50.com/donate and basically donate anything that's in your heart and give that to the program, give that to the network that allows me to communicate, one of the distribution centers that allows me to communicate to you through so many different avenues. So please go to mojo50.com/donate, click, give, and just do that. Bless the network, and just bless everyone. And as the new talent continues to come on, I'll try and remember to talk more about that later if I don't have a brain damage moment. But this is what I love what Jennifer says. Check this out. God is revealing more and more that we can't argue sense into this. This is spiritual 100%. I agree with her 1,000,000,000% on this. This revolution that's coming isn't calling us to be vigilantes. It's calling us to stand firm. We have to decide now if we will hate or we will stand. And you know what? This is so correct on this. It's becoming a nightmare. This is spiritual. There's folks, and I'm not gonna lie to you. So understand this: as you're gonna get beaten down. You're gonna get worn out. You're gonna get frustrated because it's like, Lord, I'm just tired. I just want to smack me up some people who can't see this. You know, if you've ever seen the movie Incredibles, and Elastigirl thinks that Mr. Incredible's cheating on him, and Edna, Aunt Edna, who makes the costumes, and she turns around and Elastigirl's having this mental breakdown, and she just stands up and she has a paper in her hand, and Elastigirl's crying, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And she starts smacking her. She's like, "Pull yourself together." Well, I want to be like Aunt Edna right now for The Incredibles. If you haven't seen it, go see the original Incredibles movie. Fantastic. And just look at the moment where Aunt Edna's saying, "Pull yourself together." Well, I'm saying, pull yourself together. As you sit here and you are getting frustrated, you're getting tired, trust me, I understand what it feels like to just give up and just say, you know what, I'm taking off my Christian cloak, and it's time to open up a can of whoop. It's time to do that. It's very easy to go down that direction. It really is. Dupree said, the liberals' biggest fear is that they think we will treat them like they treat us. Ouch. Hashtag truth. Hashtag, oh my goodness, that is so real. And think about this too. You have two women you've been two women, okay? Now watch how this is going to happen, because remember, what was it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, the hashtag me movement? You remember 4 years ago that we had to worry about what Donald Trump was doing to all these different women, to Stormy Daniels and so many different more. We had to worry a couple of years ago about what Brett Kavanaugh allegedly did to Christy Blasey Ford. We had to worry about what Harvey Weinstein and what Matt Lauer and Bill Cosby and the hashtag me movement. We're about to watch a war on two women, potential women, that'll be nominated by the President of the United States of America. And look at all the different things. I mean, look right there now, the language of the Handmaid's Tale. They're already assassinating her character. It doesn't matter the fact that she's adopted children who were not born to her. It doesn't matter. But we have to tear her apart. We have to ruin her. And I sit here and I'm saddened. I'm saddened because this is only going to get worse. Let's get into what Nancy Pelosi, because this is another one I heard from that I saw online, as well as via watching the Daily Mail. Nancy Pelosi refuses to rule out impeaching Trump to stall a Supreme Court nomination, as she accuses him of using SCOTUS vacancy to try to crush the Affordable Care Act. Remember, you heard clearly in the language of Democrats, of progressives. We will take guns away. We will end the Second Amendment. You had Beto O'Rourke saying it. You have Joe Biden saying it. You have a presidential candidate saying that we will take your guns away. This is the law of the land. The Second Amendment is the law of the land. How in the world can you talk about the idea of President Trump wanting to crush, the Affordable Care Act, but you have no problem, you have no shame in your party saying you want to crush the Second Amendment? You want to crush it. You're actively in the process of crushing the First Amendment by allowing organizations like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter to censor conservative speech. You're allowing Google to sit there and censor conservative speech. And you're sitting here saying that you want to stop what the president's doing, but you don't want to stop what you've allowed to happen? See, this is where it's this constitution of character, is that what I say now applies when you're not looking, and it applies even when it's not in my favor. My goodness. Good morning, Dawn. Thank you for joining. Renee, thank you for joining. Ooh, Lord Jesus. This is only going to get worse. This is only going to get worse. And we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do, and I'm not going to lie to you. We have failed in many aspects. Admit it. We've allowed ourselves to be busy. We've allowed ourselves to, hey, if y'all want to watch the NFL, so be it whatsoever. I just can't understand why anybody would want to spend time and waste time with NFL or professional sports since Colin Kaepernick started his false campaign. How who my once respected Stephen Curry decided to carry on in the ignorance, and LeBron James, do whatever you guys want to do. They're walking around with rapists on their helmets, and they're still disrespecting the country. They're still basically clamoring to a lie and a deception, and they don't want to listen. I had this very interesting conversation. This one woman, one of my friends, Felicity Joy's page, and she basically said, so this is a black woman saying, why do y'all say all lives matter, so why you freak out about Black Lives Matter? It's not about freak out about Black Lives Matter, but I just gave her factual information. Let's see, because Black Lives Matter is a farce, because there's no rioting, there's no condemnation of the rioting, there's no one defending these cities, there's no one defending these towns, there's no one defending these innocent individuals. If Black Lives Matter, because there are black businesses that are burning, there are black people who are being beaten. If Black Lives Matter, there would be more consistency in the way that you do things, and you would stop making excuses for people and their violence. Oh, well, that's what insurance is for. We don't have to worry about this. That's what insurance is for. If it burns down, it burns down. Don't worry about it. There's nothing for you to freak out about, Watson. Why are you complaining? Why are you being angry? Huh? And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, so here is one that I can't remember if I shared this with you last week or not. This is one in reference to the whole idea of consistency of character. This is one where I feel that we need to entertain this, and we need to have a discussion on this, because of the fact that many of you think that it's, we can just be wishy-washy on the standards that we have, and you know what, I'm not gonna worry about it because of the fact it doesn't hurt me, but y'all need to pay attention. Let's take a look at this one that I had over the weekend. The current theme in America is that Black Lives Matter, and that whites need to listen to black people to understand them better. Okay, let's work with that. Okay? And so there are a large number of black people who disagree with the premise of Black Lives Matter with substantial and factual proof that it is a lie. So why are their voices downplayed or often ignored if the goal of the current paradigm is to listen to the voices of black lives? See, again, if you want to listen to black people, here is a person of color. Here's a Caucasianly challenged person. Here is a minority that you can actually listen to, liberal, progressive, and evangelical churches who want to basically ride the teat of the Black Lives social justice movement. If you want to listen to their cries, if you want to listen to the pains of the people who say that there's systemic racism and I don't have a chance to survive in this world because white people have all the chances and I have none. Why don't you listen to the voices of the black people who tell you it's nothing but a lie? Why don't you listen to the voices of the facts that actually show you that, and as of 2018, at least 90% of all black people died at the hands of other black people, and the numbers of black people who died at the hands of whites or even cops that would insinuate that there was systemic racism is less than 5%. So somewhere between 90 and 95% of the deaths of black people are at the hands of other black people, not because white people told them to do it, but because it was in their nature to kill other black people. You have black women who are happy to send black men who don't pay child support to jail. You have black women who are happy to send black men to jail because they have that power. The no man in the house rule that basically gives them much more power, or quote unquote, the imagination of power, because the government keeps paying them to keep black men out on the streets or in jail. We don't want to have that discussion. We want to have the discussion that when a black woman chooses to have an abortion, and there's a black baby dying on that abortion table, we don't want to talk about that. There are large numbers of that happening. We don't want to have that discussion. We don't want to talk about the whole idea where Candace Owens or an Alfonso Rachel or a Watson Prunier or Larry oh my goodness, Larry Elder or Kim Klacik or it doesn't matter. When the rest of us, or Thomas Sowell, when we turn around and we talk to you about all these different things and the inconsistencies in the black community and how they're failing, and these liberal policies, these social justice policies are not helping the black community. It's not helping minorities. You don't want to listen to this. You shut off our voices. You censor our voices because you don't want that truth out. You need black people angry. You want black people angry, and you celebrate when black people are angry, because when they're seeing red, anger, not red for a Republican to vote that, which would be the most common sense thing that they did, like they were doing before 1935. No, you want them to see angry so that they're too busy to stop, chill out, and reflect on the factual information and the data. And then we have a large segment of white America who is Dorito chips and smoking blunts, because you got to be on crack to actually believe the lie of Black Lives Matter. You have to be on drugs to sit here and continue to push the narrative of Black Lives Matter, watching when we tell you the data, but you keep silencing us. You keep silencing us. And if you're supposed to be people of character, and you people want to be people who listen to the voices that tell you factual information of the reality of what's going on. Listen to the voices that are telling you, like me, my major concern, my fear is black skin is the golden altar, Christians. That when Moses was up getting the word of God, Aaron, the priest, and let me equate Aaron to many of the preachers and the priests in the churches that are around the country and around the world, as they're basically taking the altar and they're melting down the golden calf of Black Lives Matter and erecting it. So churches are still talking about Black Lives Matter, even though cities have been built, burning, even though cities have been destroyed, looted, people being raped, shot, killed. It doesn't matter. You don't want to listen to those facts. You don't want to listen to that truth. White woman here in Indianapolis, chooses to say all lives matter after a black person says Black Lives Matter. They shoot her in her head. See, Black Lives Matter is a farce when we sit here and we give you all the statistical data of black people killing black people, because there is no value or appreciation of life. So they will easily snuff out the life of another black person, and they will easily snuff out the life of a white person. Right now, a white man decided to take his life because he was defending his life from a black thug, a black punk who was trying to destroy his business. And he was trying to protect himself, and in self-defense, he shot and killed a black man. But instead of that black man and the community saying, we've gone too far, now they bring up crazy charges against this man, ridiculous charges, and he takes his own life. This is what you want. This is what you want. And the sad part about it is there's far too many people, there are far too many whites, there are far too many whites that are close to me and my family that are pushing the Black Lives Matter narrative. And I'm asking you to stop. My girls are mixed in their ethnicities. But this is why, hear me and understand, because I had a pastor who told me I had to decide what color my children are. No, I don't. That's not biblical. That is not biblical. That is straight from hell. And I pray that that pastor comes out of the pit of hell where his doctrine and his life has been. But understand what happens in the Prunier household. My girls are mixed in ethnicity, but I celebrate neither, because I want my girls to just focus on being girls. It's not important that they understand their darker side or their lighter side. I want them to appreciate that they're gifts of God, blessings from God. Know who Jesus is and let him be ruler of your life, because he has already decided what kind of value you have when he died on the cross for your sins, for our sins, for my sins, for the sins of the world, and those who will receive the gift of grace of Jesus Christ. Because color means diddly squat to me. Color means diddly squat. So many of you want to keep carrying on this. You got to decide what. No. Don't tell them. Don't do. Stay away from my children if you want to start telling my children to start celebrating their blackness. Stay away from my children if you want to tell them to start celebrating their whiteness. Leave my children alone. You will never have interaction with my children if that's the kind of crap that you want to shove down the face and throat of my children. Let my children be children and blessings of God. That is what's key. If there's anything that they will understand is the most preeminent and most important thing in their lives, is that they have been bought by Jesus, and they will grow up in their lives and prayerfully make that decision to call and ask Jesus to come into their lives and transform them and make them glorious women of God who glorify his name in everything they say and they do, and reject this social justice garbage, trash, dung, crap that's right from the pit of hell. Keep that stuff away from my kids. They are my kids, not yours. My children, not yours. You want to spread that stuff with your kids? Spread that stuff with your kids. Keep that crap away from my kids. That's the warning. Hear it, and hear it clearly. Alaska's Lisa Murkowski becomes the second Republican senator after Susan Collins to say that the chamber should not vote on the Supreme Court nominee after the election. Listen, understand this. Am I sad that they said that? Yes, I'm sad because the seat needs to be filled. We are now facing potentially a crazy election. We already understand from the ballot harvesting, and we understand the Democrats have already had their play. You have some states willing to wait up to 14 days after the election to continue counting ballots. Now, understand this. Joe Biden last week just went to go vote in person. So that means that we are, 45 days away from the election? That means if you want to vote, you can vote now. Don't wait till election day. Don't sit there. I need to mail things in. You have listen, if you sent something 17th class mail, it still would make it to wherever your vote needs to be counted by election day, long before that time. So you have the opportunity, you have the chance to actually go vote right now in person. And many people don't want to do it because we want to create this monstrosity. Yeah, because if you start getting the votes now and you start knowing that all these people have already voted, see, that's the reason why you don't want to send them to vote, Democrats, because of the fact that if we have their votes tallied, we can't create the illusion of control during the elections, because if we do that at that time, then someone could double vote. Someone could double vote. Someone could triple vote. Like the black woman in Cincinnati who voted, or was it Dayton, Ohio, who voted 6 times for Obama in both elections. How we found other people voting multiple times. Republicans, conservatives, Christians, don't double vote. Do not double. Be people of character, because understand this. You think you might be winning. You think you might be helping the president of the United States. You're condemning yourself. Because even though no one else might be able to see exactly what you're doing, God knows exactly what you're doing. God knows exactly what we're doing. We will be held accountable. I'm not going to be angry with Murkowski and Collins. That's their choice. That's their right as American citizens. That is their choice to do whatever they want. Let us not go buck wild crazy over them, because here's one that I'm stuck on this. Again, I want there to be a conservative Supreme Court justice nominee and basically confirmed in. But character is key. And this is very important. So Lindsey Graham says he now supports Donald Trump in confirming the SCOTUS pick, contradicting comments he made in 2016 and 2018 that a nominee should not be considered in an election year. Graham tweeted Saturday he will support the Trump in any effort to move forward regarding the Trump recent vacancy created by the passing of Justice Ginsburg. Now here is where I'm struggling. Here's where I'm struggling with this, because of the fact that, so is it character? Is it character that we stand on? Because the constitution of your character means that if I say this, I mean this, and I'll stick with it, no matter the circumstances. No matter the circumstances. So if you be present, just vote present. If you're present, vote present and say, you know what, I can't cast a vote. I said that I will not vote. I will not vote. Vote present. Do not vote nay or yay. Just vote present. At least it will be consistent on who you are. And see, a lot of you, you're like in 2016, you got to vote for Trump because a vote not for Trump is a vote for Hillary Clinton, blah, blah, blah. No. You allow people to vote their conscience. You allow people to vote because at the end of the day, this is if by chance Joe Biden becomes president of the United States of America, if by chance the Democrats take the Senate and more control of the House, they impeach the president, they take away our gun rights, they take away everything and everything like that. They raise us to 100% tax. God is still on the throne. God is still on the throne. See, I can't be driven by fear. We can't be driven by fear. Is it concerning about what Democrats would do if they get control and everything like that? Yes, it is most definitely concerning. But let us not, in the midst of the trials, I got to go to this. I got to go to this passage because of the fact that this is something that I'll be preaching on shortly, because of the fact this is probably one of my favorite verses, and this is very key that you listen and you hear this. Romans chapter 5, verses 3 through 5. Not only that we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us ashamed, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit and who he has given to us. You have to understand something, that perseverance, trials, everything like that produces a better character in us. Either the pain makes us worse of an individual, or makes us better of an individual, stronger individual who can endure in the hardships that life presents itself. Or it can weaken our morale, it can weaken our conviction, and we become more and more vile in our behavior and how we treat one another. This is going to be key. And Mitch, I'm sorry. I understand while I want the president to have his pick, while I want the president to have his choice and his ability, there's no purpose in us honestly making a promise that we don't want to keep. But see, a lot of you like, oh yeah, see that, but yeah, he's How many of you have failed to? So before y'all get on your high horse and think that we're all better than Mitch McConnell, and before we get on our high horse and think that we're better than Chuck Schumer, because remember, Chuck Schumer set everything up. Right now, if you want to be angry with anyone, don't get angry with Mitch McConnell. Get angry at Chuck Schumer and Harry Reid, who made what's going to happen possible. When they had the advantage, they changed the rules. So you can't get mad at Republicans for the rules that the Democrats set up. You can't. They got rid of the 60-vote requirement. And now they want to change the rule. We don't have 9 justices. Now, mind you, they wanted to flood the court with liberal justices so they can take away our rights. They made it plain. So why is it that Republicans are not afforded the right to flood the courts with conservative judges? See, because if you turn around and you try and flood the courts, maybe the president should do that. Oh, you want to flood the courts with more Supreme Court justices? Okay, let's take it from 9 to 30 and give the president the next 4 years to add 21 more conservative judges. Because as you sit there, the fact that this is happening right now, folks, goes to show you exactly why this shouldn't happen, why this power should not be in the presidency and why this power should not be in the Supreme Court justice, in the Supreme Court. Here's the other aspect I want to talk about, and this is before I close the show out. So protesters decided they want to gather outside of Mitch McConnell's house, and that's not right. Don't go to Pelosi's house. Don't go to McConnell's house. Stay away from that. If you should be shot if you're going to go to someone's house. You should be shot. Period. Stay away from their residence. Stay away from their residence. You should be shot. Also, a person decided they want to send rice in to the President of the United States of America. See, this level of hatred is not from Donald Trump. Donald Trump actually exposed a level of hatred and wickedness in the hearts of a lot of American citizens. Listen, Brad Staggs and Daily Mojo is up next if you're listening in the morning. If it's in the afternoon, it's Patriotically Correct with Stu and Richard. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom. I appreciate you listening in. Y'all, be safe and be people of character. I'm out.